Nerding Out with Clash with Ash. Hey Ash, welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, Scotty? How you doing, man?
I am doing good. How are you?
Awesome. I am doing very well. Happy to be here, man.
Well, glad to have you. I was just looking at actually some of your recent videos, and loving that mass witch attack one that was up there.
Yeah.
Those bases, but so Ash is does the YouTube channel Clash with Ash, and also the Rival Kingdoms. What is it?
Yeah, that's Ash's Kingdoms. A lot of plurality there.
Nice.
But yeah, I just started that like a few days ago, actually. So yeah, I got my hands full for sure.
Yeah. But now, and I'm looking at your videos, how many clans do you have? You're in Red Elite?
Yeah. So just a brief evolution or history of my little alliance is basically we have 3 clans, and we've had as many as 10, and it dates back almost 2 years now, 2 years in September. So
wow.
Right now we only have 3, so it's much more manageable, and they're Clash with Ash, Red Elite, and Battle Elite. And we don't have none of them are considered really feeders, or they're all kind of, on their own level, but all also equal footing,
Yeah, we have that kind of with the Kryptonian family of clans. We just everyone is its own unique clan that kind of has a purpose.
It never feels like feeders work that well,
No.
I'm sure some people. The fact that they're still here in the game this long into the game, they must work for some people. But I don't think anybody loves being in the feeder, right?
Right. Or
you always feel like you're a second-class citizen or something.
Yeah, and then you get there, and then you can't. You make friends, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to go hang out with people that I don't really know.
Exactly. And you're always vying for, you got some people who are always vying for a spot in the main clan,
Yeah.
And I think it's a strange dynamic, but it works for some people. So, more power to them, but I've never been a fan of it just for myself. I'd rather just have every clan kind of work, work with, on its own terms and whatnot, and then kind of pull together for special events, or have a leadership structure and stuff like that. But
do you guys do big events?
Well, we have a big event coming up. We do fun things, nothing too crazy, but we do civil wars where we war against each other. That's what we call them. A lot of people. Yeah, we've done that twice now. We're going to do the third one, 4th of July weekend. So
both successful matches.
Yeah, we've done 2 25 versus 25s, and they were totally success, matched within 10 minutes. And we make sure that the weight is roughly the same. We don't actually weigh out every single base. This time we might, because it's going to be a 50 versus 50.
Oh wow!
But what we did was we split Red Elite, my clan, and we just made it. We did a draft, and it's a ton of fun. I mean, the way we do it is
we want to do that. We were talking about that.
It's really fun because we have 2 sets of brothers in our clan, right?
Yeah.
So 2 siblings, 2 sets of siblings, and we make both of our wars. We made the both siblings team captains. So it would be like Team Oreo versus Team Zohan was one war, and Team Red versus Team English was another war. And it was awesome. The battle of the brothers. So we're gonna do something different this time. But yeah, it's a lot of.
Well, what's the composition? Is it because you're a max TH10, right?
Yeah. And what is our wars like?
Yeah, I mean, is it or when you when you did the matches, or same with if you guys are matching other people, is it?
Yeah,
TH10 heavy.
Yeah, it's war's kind of frustrating, but obviously a lot of fun. We're all constant. All of our clans are constant war, and we've been that way in Red Elite since the advent of war. But when we match up against each other, it's fun. We go with trophy layouts, but we match up against other clans at our level, where my clan has 15 max heroes bases and
nice.
About 30 max defenses, and we're in a no man's land as far as matchups, and it's discouraging in some areas. And well, you know what it is we who knows exactly what Supercell's algorithms are for matching up, but our clan we tend to get matched up pretty consistently against total max Town Hall 10 base clans.
Wow.
So like we went up against In the Dark 2 wars ago, and Exodius, and these elite war clans who have like 180 wins,
Yeah.
And no one likes a crybaby. We still enjoy it, but these are the type of clans that will 3-star like 10 opposing Town Hall 10s.
Wow.
And we don't.
Yeah.
we don't. So that's so sometimes we just know going in that it's going to be a real tough one, but we always try and stuff. We don't like punt or anything, but so that's what it looks like. It's mostly we're going against clans with anti 3-star layouts and max heroes, and we 2-star all of them pretty easily because it's easy to 2-star an anti 3 layout, and then we just wait and see what they do to us. What we do to combat that a little bit is we end up making our max defensive bases go with a push base, a trophy base, and just hope and pray that they don't they're not able to 2-star one of our bases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be. We get matched up with House of L, like really pretty tough matchups, and it kind of just reminds me of that too, where it's like, this is going to be an uphill battle the whole time. It's going to depend a lot on how you guys are attacking. And then if the bases are super well designed, then you're really in trouble, because it's like, that makes a huge difference, and you notice it right away.
Well, what is your clan composition now?
We're sitting at about, I want to say like 12 TH10s. 12 it fluctuates, 12 to 13, somewhere there. And
then you're in mostly Town Hall 9s after that, or is it?
Yeah, we've got about, I think in the last war it was 19 9s.
Okay.
If I'm doing the math right. And then 6 8s.
Okay, that's not too bad of a. That's kind of what Clash with Ash Clan is like.
Kind of
that sort of a matchup. Weight wise, and we get pretty fair matchups most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sorry.
Not so much, but go ahead. Sorry.
No. I think what we see is like the outmatched heroes a lot of the time. That's a big factor.
Yeah. Do you have? You said your max heroes?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
Where are they at right now?
Oh, it's really sad actually. My king's going to 21.
Okay, that's not sad.
And my queen's she's at 22. And I've had my king down for like 6 weeks almost. I think he's been awake. Because I'll farm the dark elixir up to that point, and then I'm trying to keep him down now, because I just kept waiting. War started, and I had started playing. They weren't great, until the anti-lure thing happened. And then it was like, well, maybe they're going to do it so you can war with heroes. And so I just kind of kept putting it off. And then it's just these matchups. It's like, you just have to have them up there.
Oh, yeah. And it starts to get it's such a grind when you get over level 20 on the heroes. It's crazy.
Well, and I finished my research. So I've actually been just having a blast with doing these swarm armies. That's like giants. I don't even use wall breakers. Giants, barbs, archers, and my queen. And then I have like a couple heal spells. And man, that can do so much damage.
Are you picking on? Are you picking on lower level town halls? Where are you farming at?
I'm farming in. I think I'm in Crystal. But since that update, even in like Gold, I wasn't finding a lot of super. It was like it was getting good loot because of the stuff. But I like to push it up against. I'm just going for Dark Elixir. I'm like. I could be funneling the stuff into my walls, the elixir, and it's going up. But I'm like, okay, I have been grinding at my troops forever. I'm going to have some fun.
Yeah.
But
I've always noticed that too. I've noticed that whenever you're farming for one specific resource, it feels like if you don't pay attention to the other resounhall they just start adding up.
Yeah, they're just
like, whoa, I got max gold. Yeah.
Well, and I'll push it up against Town Hall 10s, kind of whatever. like I'll try to get into the center if I feel like I have a pretty good chance at it. And so those bases are kind of cool because you just see this swarm come in and how they're fighting up against like Infernos and how far I can get them to actually get in there and do some work, you know. But if I do find a good, like a TH9, there was a couple today, and I thought I can get to the center, and it turns out they swarm the entire base, and I was just like, I want to record those and put them up and just have like angry crowd playing over the top or like screaming, fleeing crowd noises. Oh, it's a blast.
Well, whatever works, you know, as long as you can get to that core or whatever, then do it. I've been barching with my baby account, but I don't care too much about the Dark Elixir yet, so I'm not really.
Where's that one at?
It's really close to Max Town Hall 8. The King is at level 8, and the walls are about half skull right now, but all the defenses are upgraded. But I just don't have the time. I'm sure you're the same with Britney Spears, but like it's tough to farm. Well, I'm done farming with the Big Ash Lane account, but it's tough to farm with a whole other account over again.
And war and do all that stuff. I was over in SOAS clan and with Britney Spears, and I'm like, you know, because I've been on the road a little bit, and then I'm like, I kind of need to bring her back to House of L, just because it's so hard to be in like two places.
Oh yeah, it's so difficult. It's like it's crazy. I feel so guilty because the name of the clan is Clash with Ash, and I feel so guilty about the name of this clan, right? Because it didn't start to even be a functional clan. It just started as a place for me to throw my baby account in.
Oh, nice.
With a few other people. That way we could just have somewhere to stick them, you know, and then we could – and what it was is I was streaming briefly when I started YouTube, and what I would do is I got so annoyed by trying to hunt people down for base reviews. They would all, you know, oh, how's my base, Ash? How's my base? Blah, blah, blah. You know, they get spam. Everybody wants to know how their base is, right?
Yeah.
So – I got so annoyed by like, and this is before they had the hashtag too. So I'd be like, oh God, I'll type in, you know, Kingdom Raiders and there's a billion, you know, and I'm like, what one are you? How many people, you know? So, so I created Clash with Ash, and I'm like, okay, just go to the clan Clash with Ash if you want a base review.
That's really cool.
And that's how I did it. So, and then, you know, through random states of through random events, it became like an actual clan, you know. So now I feel so guilty having my alternate account
over there.
Well, I'm just not too active, you know. I go on there and I gem donations just to pretend I'm just to get my numbers spiked, and then I get my war attacks in, and then I'm usually off just because it's so hard to do everything else I'm doing. I mean, my
strategize and everything that goes on top of, you know, doing all that.
It's like a full-time job. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you about that, but I do want to just say when you were talking about that, I wondered how you're playing your second account different than your first account, because how long have you been playing?
Oh God, a long time. You know, I don't remember exactly when I started, but I do know that it was definitely over 2 years ago, and it's probably 2 years and 4 months or so, because we're coming up on the year anniversary, and I was playing for 6 months before I started this alliance. So I want to say it's like, I don't know, a little over 2 years, but either way, I remember the first like 4 months I picked up the game. I'm sure a lot of people might have been the same way a little bit, but I wasn't too into it. I was in a clan with one other person who I knew in real life, and that was it. We would just like donate troops like on lunch break. He was a coworker of mine, so like on lunch I'd be like, hey, give me some troops, and that would be the one time a day I'd get troops, you know. But so I rarely touched the game, you know. I had it on my phone, but I'd log in, you know, when I was bored in a waiting room or something, and then I started playing. I started upgrading, and boom, the addiction started. So the second account I'm playing, you know, I don't know if you're the same way, but when you have a second account, it feels like you're an ace at the game. You know how to do stuff, you know, rather than the first time through, I was probably going after 200K raids like total and being like, whoa, look at this, you know. But now I'm like, skip, you know. You just know what to look for, you know.
Well, are you making the second account for war, or is it
Yeah. I needed more replays for YouTube actually, just for Town Hall 8 and Town Hall 9. I'm like, I'm just going to make an account. And
so then, what are you focusing on? Like, so if you're playing as a war, it's a war account. You know, it's going to be that. How does that like shape? And those are my dogs barking.
Yeah, I was going to say the dogs are not a fan of the of the baby account. They're like, don't do it. Don't do another account, Scotty. You're killing me.
Britney Spears, yeah, that's why they're barking. No,
I hope I'm not the only terrible dog owner who, like, sometimes you're clashing or you're doing YouTube, you're doing whatever you're doing, and then you just look over and your dog's been sitting there for like an hour, just been like, my owner sucks, and that's my it's my poor dog. I feel bad for him sometimes.
my dogs when I'm like playing and they're just like watching me. They're like trying to go outside. I'm like I'm in the middle of this raid, just bark. But
exactly. Have you seen that little spoof of that guy or whatever on the that Clash addict, and he has like a kid and a wife or whatnot?
No, but I'm gonna have to
it's pretty hilarious. I'll link it to you.
Okay, cool.
Let me see if I can just pull up the name of it while we're talking. Go ahead. You can go ahead though.
Well, are you doing? You're at TH8. Are you going to do all the walls?
Yeah, I'm going to do all the walls, only because I just don't want to go 9 quite yet, just because I want more replays. But I don't know. I'm making it. I'm going to go 9 eventually. Then I'm going to keep it at 9 forever. I'm never going to go 10 on that account. Or at least that's what I say now. So don't hold me to it, but we'll see.
Well, that'd be kind of cool then, because then you're able to stream, or you're able to do your YouTube videos. And then with those type of attacks.
Yeah, exactly. I want to have a Town Hall 9 and Town Hall 10, and I'll max. It might be 5 years, but I'll max it to Town Hall 9 at the rate I'm playing right now, and then that's what I'll do. Although YouTube, the video is called The Clash of Clans Addict. You should really watch it. It's pretty funny.
Okay, cool, man. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
It's probably everybody else has heard of it.
I'm
usually
like
behind the times.
1.1 million views. It's like this guy who just, it's basically like our lives. He's at breakfast and he's logging onto his village real quick, and he's whatever. He's got his baby and his dog and his
bathroom break.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you worried about your war weight with your mini account?
No, I mean, I'm one of the lower guys in the clan, so it's awesome right now, because I'm a max Town Hall 8, so I use Goho attacks on him mostly.
Okay.
So if the base is really easy, I'll just hog it, but otherwise I'll use 2 golems and anywhere from 6 to 10 wizards and 18 to 22 hogs. Wow. And that works pretty well, and witches in the clan castle. So that works pretty well, and it's pretty it's a pretty good, as a strong attack, for as strong as you can get, I think, for Town Hall 8. So that's pretty much what I do. And like I said, I'm probably one of the lowest 5 bases in our clan. So,
well, how does it hold up on defense? Is it pretty good?
I get 3-starred. I get 3-starred most attacks, but it's Town Hall 8 that you kind of expect that. I don't really get bumped about it. So I think most of our Town Hall, there'll be a war here and there. And a lot of people ask, I really shy away from sharing Town Hall 8 bases too often. I've done a couple, but a lot of people ask, Ash, what's your favorite Town Hall 8 base? And inevitably they're disappointed
when I get to
it
attack.
Was 3-starred.
Yeah, and it is based on the other clan's strength, I think, because there's only so many configurations.
Yeah, I mean, if a town, I think if any Town Hall 8 attacker or a max base, basically a mirror, I think you should be able to 3-star your mirror as a Town Hall 8. If all things go right, most attacks, so I don't think there's a perfect base out there, really.
Well, and what I started to do with Brittany is, because I had a fake base it wasn't a fake base. It was supposed to look like a fake base, but it actually held pretty well, because she was a rushed Town Hall 7 into 8, and so kind of making up ground. And but I started to look at the other players' profiles. And I thought, I could have a base that if they don't have like P.E.K.K.A.s or, their hogs up, you have like the hog base, or most of their 8s don't have it. And then you're going to probably eat an attack, or you can kind of cater to the other clan based on your base.
So you have a few bases that you're kind of evaluating what type of troops the opposing Town Hall 8s have, and then kind of switching to what you think would be most effective.
Yeah, because if they've got max troops, or then you're like, okay, if they know what they're doing, they'll probably use the go wipe, or something on this. But if
that's a good idea. And if they have max hogs, you're doubling up your giant bombs, and if you're
just trying to anticipate. Because it's like I was saying, like, if you can eat just one attack, then it's like, okay, that's amazing, because
absolutely,
it comes down to so much. But so are you at a year on your YouTube?
No, I'm not. August, I think. I started in August, and it's funny. I mentioned the Civil Wars earlier, but that's actually the genesis of the whole YouTube thing. Really? I just wanted a way to record some attacks of our Civil War, and I was like, I had one of the tech savvy clan mates show me how to record, and then I was just like, okay, and I'll do this, and I'll share it with the clan, and it'll be like a Civil War update, And my very first video was so terrible. It was
really?
Oh yeah, I mean, the first 100 videos were so terrible on it. You know what the most frustrating thing is that I'll get a comment now and again, because what happens is you search Clash with Ash and just random suggestions come up,
Yeah.
And then it happened today. It happens, a few times a week at least.
Oh no.
And I'll check my email, and it will be like, new comment on a video, and it'll be like, Ash, what are you talking about? This makes no sense, or something like that, or they won't be as nice, And then I'll look at the video, and it's like episode, I'm on like 240 right now, but they'll be like episode 60, how to hog, whatever. And it's like, at that point, I really didn't have I did suck, It's funny how much you kind of evolve, but it's
Well, that's kind of like the podcast. It's like we just tell people, don't go listen to the old episodes, because if you go back to the old episodes, it's like,
well, yeah, I'm sure you're
Lure the Heroes by. And then all come to the one side of they're like, think you're drinking some Kool-Aid or something.
Yeah. What do you mean, Lure the Heroes?
It's kind of nutty.
That feels like the good old days, doesn't it? When you could lure heroes.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it's a different.
Just think
time.
about that. Just think about like bringing a hero all the way to the north of the map. It just doesn't. You think about it now, and you're like, that seems so awkward. that you can.
Why weren't we like smashing? People before
I know,
that.
Right?
I suppose it upped the game a little bit.
Everybody was so upset about that too, and now I think that most people even forgot that there was days like that.
Yeah, well, and an update comes out, and it's like, well, there's no air sweeper before, so so there's always something new. But do you? Yeah. So, what's a day in like the life of a YouTuber? Because if you're running clans, and you've got that clan family, and then you've got everything else going on. How do you play? Do you do?
Oh, it's crazy, man. I'm way too addicted. Well, I don't even know if addicted. I'm way too committed, I guess, is the better way to say it.
It's not Clash. It's a lifestyle.
It pretty much. I mean, it's weird how it evolved into what it is today, and it's probably like someone would watch, a reel of my day-to-day life, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, this guy." But I work and stuff. Obviously, I'm 33, so
I'm 34.
Middle-aged. I'm in the older, I guess, demographic. I guess, although my viewer demographic is 25 to 35. That's the main. It's over 50% of my viewers.
It's amazing how many.
Yeah. And there's older. And I have like 5% over 60. So shout out to all my my senior citizens out there. So I wake up and it's, I check we use Line and some Bindle too to communicate.
Okay.
So the Line chat app, and there's like over 600 messages every morning.
Oh man.
I scan what I can, because we have our system. I don't know how interesting this would be to the viewer, to the listeners rather, but we have like a system of each of our clans has one chat for all our members, one chat for all of our co-leaders, and then we have a co-leader of our whole alliance chat that we're all in, and then we have an executive board with like the people who've been here since like day one or whatever, and cool. That's like the system we have. for chats, and then we have like all these side projects. I have Rival Kingdoms, obviously, and YouTube stuff and Twitter stuff, and everything.
Yeah.
So there's and plus we're international clans, so our time zones are all over the place. So it's really going 24/7. So I'll wake up to like 600 messages. I'll scan most of them,
Right.
and I'll go to the real important chats. I'll make sure there's nothing, catch up. And then after my morning briefing and coffee, I head to work. And then luckily I have a job that I can kind of multitask
Nice.
as much as, I can sneak at least. So I can, I'll be on and off all day at work. And then when I get home, I try to stay semi-productive in real life too. So, I'll go to the gym, I'll run, pretty into like fitness and whatnot. And then on nights that every night I basically need 2 hours to do a YouTube video, roughly. So I'll do 2 hours of YouTube, from like 6 to 8 or something. Then I'll just do, while I'm doing YouTube, obviously, obviously I'll multitask and, do Twitter and everything else and clan management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's basically, if I'm going to do something in real life, I'll do something then, or otherwise I'll just keep doing Clash stuff till bed. And that's
yeah, it's really crazy. And I think it is interesting how you guys organize too. I think a lot of people kind of would like to know that, especially when you start to get to like, into like clan families and stuff. But there's a lot of places. And so now everybody's just kind of like, Scotty, go check line. Cause that's like, okay, you can find me in the clan chat because everywhere else it can just, it's like, okay, And then,
there's a lot of forms of communication for sure.
Yeah. And I was doing, I've been doing some streaming, I was like, it'd be cool to do the podcast and then stream. While you're just doing the podcast, and kind of do a live thing, do questions. But you start to do that stuff, and then like, this is really eating into my Clash time. Like the days you do that, I'm like, I should have been farming for my heroes today.
Yeah, you only have so much time, And right now I'm pushing too, so it's like,
where are you at? I was going to ask because I saw
I'm at 45, 60 ish.
Oh,
I took a pretty big hit a few days ago. I had a Wi-Fi drop for the once in a blue moon. It happens, and it dropped, and I got attacked. And then I don't know. It's life of high champion pushing is like a whole nother huge conversation. But it's basically I need to commit 6 hours to having my phone or device on a day in order not to lose cups.
Yeah. So what is that? How long have you been pushing?
So I pushed several times before in my Clash career, but this most recent time, it's been a little bit over 2 months, and it is time consuming. But the good part is, if there is a good part, is it really lends itself to multitasking because it's just clouds. At this point, I'll get, this is literally speaking here, I'll attack 2 or 3 times in a 6 hour period,
Because you just have it's that hard to find that match.
Yeah, you're just waiting for. Right now I don't know exactly, but let's just say I'm at 100 in the rank 100 in the U.S. leaderboard. If I'm waiting for basically people in the to log off, and that's basically it. So you just got to wait for someone to at your level or close to your level to log off the game, and in order to stay at this level, you have to be on the game 24/7.
Oh man.
So, it's weird. It's. I always wanted to do it just because I always wanted to be a top trophy guy at one point because it looks awesome on for my credentials, if you will.
Yeah.
Total nerding out here, like my Clash credentials.
My mom would be like, "What is that? Is that a game for the phone thingy?" It's like,
yeah, right.
No idea what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But so it looks good, obviously, and it's also I know I'm sort of friendly. I talked the other day for a while with Clash with Ed, who's the Joecast. He's the leader, one of the leaders of Quantum's Web and In the Dark. And I was talking to him about it, and he said that when he was number one in the entire world for a period of time. And he was not only was he obviously investing like 12 hours a day, but it was also he said it was amazing. He's like, it was ever since then. He's like, you look at his YouTube channel and it's like the screen. His background is a screenshot of him #1 in the world, and I'm like, I want that. You know?
Oh man, are you gonna do it?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm just looking at the top people are at 4,800,
49, 48, 49, around that.
49.65.
No one's at 5K.
Oh wait, yeah,
49.65 right now.
Yeah.
Wow, just a matter of time before 5K gets hit.
Yeah, and he's like 25. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah, that's pretty intense.
Top players. Yeah, 49.65 Emirates. Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. I know that a lot of the top players, though, let me see what clan he's in. He's in Emirates. A lot of those guys, and this is the discouraging thing, not to discourage anybody from pushing, but at that level is that what they'll do is not all clans by any stretch, but some of the clans they have like a time sharing thing where they'll make sure that there's somebody with a device on someone's account at all times, you know. And obviously you get kicked after 6 hours, but there's no downtime. You know, for me, a guy like me or something, all by playing the game by myself.
Yeah.
I would just have to be on the. I can barely play for 6 hours straight a day, and obviously that's multitasking while I'm doing YouTube and whatever else I'm doing, watching a movie or whatever. I have clouds on, you know.
Yeah, and didn't you say that you almost missed one? I think it was on your video maybe that you had the clouds and you almost missed an attack, or am I? Maybe I'm making that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I did. I can be prone to forgetfulness. So, miss an attack?
No, like the attack started.
Oh, maybe I did.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, I vaguely recall this. I think it was one of my Life in the Cloud episodes.
Yeah, and it was like,
wow, you know my channel better than me, man. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go.
I think what would happen is, you know what it was? Is now I remember. Wow. I was at work, so I've become a quasi expert at also clashing at work in the background, and because like I said, it doesn't really require anything except for keeping the device active. So I looked down and I'm like, oh my god, I have a minute left or whatever it was, you know. And so it was, or I might have missed it altogether.
It was still like a really good attack, but you're like, I could have got the 3 or something.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, look at you. Yeah, dude. I had like a 98% or 99%, and I could have had the 3-star, which was huge, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just a timeout issue, and I started like 20 seconds late, and that's what it was.
That's crazy. I was watching your channel earlier, and before one of my war attacks, and I had a really good war attack because you were showing those like mass witch. And I didn't do the mass switch, but like I think one was the 5 golem, and there's a guy in the clan, Dirty Pirate, who's been rocking the 5 golem. So I've been practicing, but watching on some of those bases with those open rings in the middle, with the resource ring.
Dangerous. It's dangerous.
Oh God, we've been going up against those, and
I hate to a shameless plug here, Scotty. Shameless plug, but I'm putting a video out tonight where basically how to hit those bases using 4 golems instead of 5.
I did 4 today.
Okay, did it work?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
because I was just watching that and I'm like, I can see how this works. That's on Clash with Ash YouTube channel. So check it out. Subscribe.
Thanks.
And what was cool was like it's really cool to see some TH10 attacks on these type of bases because a lot of the YouTube stuff is just 9s, or like just a certain thing. So
I struggle with that because it seems like I think the biggest audience on YouTube is Town Hall 9. I think you're right. Yeah, and I think my expertise per se. Not that I'm an expert, but my strength is Town Hall 10 because I've been it for a year.
When you're getting that kind of percentage on it, it's like you're an expert.
Well, no, I'm just.
But it's always like
in that 50-50 event. I am certainly not an expert.
Oh man. Well, yeah, because that's the thing. Like in those war things, and like I was going to ask you about that too. Is like how do you practice? Like
what do you mean
for your war attacks?
I pretty much. Well, we use Clash Caller. So are you familiar?
Yeah,
well, of course you are.
Yep, we're actually using that. It's awesome.
So I'll just do a quick scout, and I usually just take because I'm that guy, and so I usually just take call to first base, whatever it is. Because I set it up too, so I have the luxury of being like, boom, Ash, number one. And most of the time it works out because, I just take a look at the base and there's only so many variations. I'm either hitting an anti-3 base, which are easy, even if they're the all the units aren't clumped up next to the within range of archer towers and stuff. If they're spread like a true anti-3, they're obviously, I won't even attack that because that should be attacked by somebody lower because it's an easy 2-star, and then I'll try to 3-star somebody, which I'm dreadful at 3-star attacks.
Oh man,
you'll only see, I think there's only one video of me with a Go Lava Town Hall 10 3-star because it's only happened once in about 20 tries. So
it's tough, but and I'm not in that range yet. I mean, I think,
I mean, I can definitely 3-star bases, but certainly not max bases. I mean, we go up against all max bases, so it's, I mean, there's plenty of people who can, and props to them, but it's not my thing. I'm a 2-star noob, but I'll take a look at the base, and if it's a trophy layout, I feel pretty confident in the with Go Wee Wee against most trophy bases. So, I'll have a 1-star attack here and there, but for the most part, it's.
Do you think that pushing made you way better at war?
Yeah, I think so because, that and watching, I watch YouTube as well. Not a ton anymore. I just don't have time. But, sometimes you're just in a slump. No matter what town hall level you are, sometimes you just suck. And you're just like, what is wrong with me? I hate this game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've all been there, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, what am I doing? So, it's all about finding a troop composition that you're just really, really comfortable with, I mean, that's basically, it's as easy as that, and that's kind of what you do while you're pushing, right? You kind of experiment a little bit, and then you find something that works for you, and then you just kind of stick with it. You can, a lot of people, I'm sure you're the same way, but a lot of people, if you had to attack a village, but you didn't know what the village was, but you had to choose your troops. A lot of people will have it down to the very last troop. They'll have one archer or whatever the heck they have, but they're so comfortable with a certain configuration,
And so, because I think there's all different the parts to the game, but that trophy pushing, and I agree with you. I almost wish in war sometimes that I had. They're like, here's your troop composition, or I take mine, and then they just choose a base for me, and then I have to attack it. Because that 30 seconds, you start to learn about evaluating the 50%, and getting a real good sense of timing. Of course, it differs in war, but I think that might be sometimes the forgotten side of the game is the trophy pushing.
I mean, that's all I did for so long in Clash, because I was max before Clan Wars came out. So it was all about pushing. That was all there was to do, I mean, I shouldn't say my walls weren't max, but my heroes were, and that was all, you really needed. And
so you've had those guys for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't farm them either.
Oh, nice.
I farmed them to level 25, and I'm one of those terrible instant gratification people that I farmed a little bit here along the way from 25 to 40, but it wasn't like I just gemmed them overnight. But I did I definitely did a lot of gemming as well.
It is so tempting because it's to think about my king being down, or the heroes being down for it's still most of a year. That if I just kept him down, it would take without a hero.
And you know what it is Clash of Clans is Supercell is brilliant because once you do a little bit of gemming, you're just like, I spent $20, then next paycheck I'll spend $50, whatever, and then you're just then you can become comfortable with it,
I could go to a movie tonight, but I'm gonna just buy some gems and do this, and rationalize it to myself. I'm spending time. I would pay a lot more money to go see this or go do this.
You know what? I'm gonna work an hour of overtime, and then it will turn that money right into Clash. No big deal, right?
Yeah,
it's money I wouldn't have had anyway.
But man, I can't wait to take those level 40 heroes out for a spin.
Oh, I could never. I see what you're doing. I could never, especially with Clan Wars. Like I would want to be max tomorrow. I mean, when I did it, there was not even Clan Wars to do it for. It was just like I just wanted to do it.
I know, and I was starting to do that where I was waking them up.
Yeah, for war.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Like, it's going to happen a lot. And if it's a really tough war and it's close, I'll do it. But sometimes my attacks, most of the times, my attacks go south. No, it's been way better lately. Especially, I think.
So, what are you using for Town Hall 10?
You know, I don't like doing air anymore. I
mean,
I'm really liking the golem, like a 5 golem attack, or like the 4 today. So like I was Dirty Pirate's been doing the 5, and a guy named Mighty Buzzard in our clan, and they're doing pretty good with it. Other people are experimenting too, but those two come to mind. And they've been doing some really kick-ass stuff with them, and I found like if I do that attack, I can adapt pretty well. To a lot of the bases. So like
how many jumps are you bringing?
2.
Okay.
I'm bringing 2 jumps.
Are you clumping the golems or spreading them?
I have been spreading them more.
Okay.
Because and I think the same principle applies to if like the listeners there with giants. You know, if you really watch, like in my farming attacks, I'm using giants and archers and barbs. But I'm using them a lot of the time in the same way that I've been using those golems. It's just like get to that wall, tank. And so I had been watching his attacks and watched yours today too. And I was like, that's a real big secret of that is letting those golems just hang at that wall. Or like you release them in real, you know, at the right points and just let those archers and or like in the case of like the war attacks, like the wizards really do the work.
Yeah, you can be patient. Like against those resource ring bases, you can be patient. You know, your troops aren't under heavy fire, so it's not like a huge rush. It's only a couple of archer towers or cannons. You know.
Yeah, and I think you see all that firepower coming in at you, and I'm like, and I'm like notorious rush. You know, my stuff.
Like, I gotta get in. What am I doing?
Just freaking out. Yeah. But with those, you know, because he'd been on a Twitch with me, and he's like, no, hold back. And I'm like, I did. And I'm like, wow, that really works. So I've been favoring that. But I love Velks. So I like to bring in like 5 Velks. If it's a compartment base, you know, I'll vary it up. But I really like to use Velks.
Now, in a clan like yours, are you attacking Town Hall 9s for 3 stars as well? Or like what percentage of the time are you doing 10 only? Or
most of the time, just 10.
Okay.
Because, I think you know what we know that we're going to have to do no matter what is put stars on pretty much every base.
Yeah.
You know, all the way to the top. Hopefully, 2 all the way to the top. But I rarely go down for a 9 because I feel better about a 2 on a 10 than I do about a 3 on a 9 a lot of the time because of the use of the spells. You know, like I'm so used to using freeze that I go in and it's hard for me to like adjust. It's kind of like that troop comp. You know, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'll take in the two jumps in a rage.
Yeah. If I was going to be a 10 and jumping down to a 9, I think I would with max heroes it doesn't really make a difference, I guess. But if I were you, I think I would switch to air if I was going to hit a 9.
Oh, I can't do it. I made it up into champs, you know, doing Lava Lunion, and I could go in and wreck some major bases in the wild, and then I'd come back to war, and it just would not work, and I don't know what it is. I think it might be that I wasn't using freeze on the 9s, so like the timing with the rage spells and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I think I would just go. I mean, you gotta feel for it, but I think I would drop the minions and just go like La Lune or Lava Loon, you know, and just let your level 3 lava hounds go to town. You know?
Yeah, do their thing.
I think you'd be all right, but don't line. because a lot of people, when they switch from Lava Lunion to Lava Loon minus the minions, I think that a lot of people still have a tendency to make a big line with their balloons rather than clumping them,
Okay.
And that's the difference. You get a clump in like groups of 2 or 3 or rarely 4 if there's a really high defensive concentration with your balloons
To avoid the wizards and.
Yeah, so you kind of scat. Yeah, hopefully the idea with bringing I would bring like 4 or 5 lava hounds, and the idea would be that the lava hounds would fly into the base, and then the wizard towers would be aimed towards the interior, rather than the exterior, and then your balloons would come in under cover and destroy it.
And I don't know why it changed. So I don't know what changed. I think it might be the CC troops.
Well, yeah, and if you can 2-star town hall 10s, then you're right. It's more valuable because there's I'm sure you have people who can 3-star 9s anyway.
I can probably blunt force trauma that one for one, depending.
Yeah. Well, at least you get the experience that way too. The clan perk experience.
Yeah, so. And it's one of those things where with a hero down, I'm kind of navigating those waters. What do I do? And I've been going down a few and doing pretty well. And so I'm trying to make up for not having that king. So it's just a weird, because 6 weeks without him is a lot of wars, and there's a lot more to go. Probably take him up to 30, I think. And then, and then the queen.
Yeah, that's a long time. I feel you. I feel for you, man.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Well, at least you have the queen, though. That's the most important.
Yeah. And hopefully. Well, do you think it would be smarter to take the king up really high and then start on my queen?
What's the queen at again right now?
22.
And your queen's 21, you said?
No. Oh,
you're a king rather?
Yeah, he's almost 21.
Yeah, what I did was I went in increments of 5 levels, but I always kept the queen 5 levels higher than the king, so she would always go. So like I would put the queen. If I were you, I'd get the queen up to I know a lot of people just go ahead and max the queen. The place you're at right now. I think a lot of people would just go ahead and max the queen.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you can stomach having her down for so long, but
that's the thing is she's only at 22 because I was doing the 5 levels.
Yeah.
And I really went to work on them, but it was after the update and loot was really crazy.
Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah, and so I had farmed enough for her while waiting for my king, and still had 3 days left, and so she went up a couple levels. But I was thinking, like, would it be smart to do? Let's say if I did take my king up because I want my queen for war, do you think he would make up the difference with her being down in attacks?
No.
No?
No. I mean, queen is so important, especially when you're doing these go wee go wipe type attacks. Queen is, 75% of the time it's the queen that takes down the town hall,
Yeah.
It's like she's such an important, vital piece for a ground attack. That's why, I know you hate it, but I'd really, if you were going to have your queen down.
Switch to air?
Switch to air, yeah. Just because... sometimes you can get that town hall down with a Lava Loony or Lava Loon attack without even needing heroes, which is really tough to do on a. You'd have to really load up on P.E.K.K.A.s,
That's true.
Maybe
I will tough. Switch my tactics because now they're about the same price.
Well, having the king down is not a huge big deal, right? Because you can just add a P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah, or like it doesn't seem to matter like a ton. Like it doesn't bother me as much. And so that's why I was like, well, maybe if I get him up high enough, he could compensate. But maybe I just have to bite the bullet and put her down for a while.
I would either way. It doesn't really matter. There's so many ways to do it, right? But I think what I did is I got my Barbarian King I got them both to like level 30 or close to level 30. And then once I got the King to 30, I just maxed Queen. Because at that point I was like, I want to max Queen. But, and then I got him slowly. What I did was I gemmed, like I said, a lot from 25 to 40. But then the last 10 levels of King, I just farmed because I was like, I've spent enough after I paid for Queen,
God, and that gets super expensive too.
Oh God, the last few levels of a hero just to gem is $50 a level.
Oh, damn.
It was not good. It was not good for a while there. That seems like ancient history. Thank God.
Yeah, I want them so bad because I've been watching people do some really cool stuff. But maybe I could switch back.
I'm going to look at your village tomorrow, and it's going to be Max Heroes.
Yeah,
no!
Just like. Well, we're trying to do the matchup with Soaz tonight, and so I'm almost enough to. Well, I was going to put my king down again. Maybe my queen will go down instead, but that would be like I'll wait on seeing the matchup before, because of course I wouldn't be doing that, but I would. That would be the most tempting time to gem.
Yeah,
would be
right.
like, oh man, right in this war, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely gem the finish time at that point if I were you. But I'm a bad influence, though.
No, I do it when it's worth it, because it is worth it. I mean, like,
pick and choose, you know.
Yeah. What are your favorite type of videos to do?
That's a good. I mean, I really like the strategy videos. I'm doing one, like I said tonight, like a Go Wee Wee one, but I really like when I have time to like sit down and just cover a strategy, you know, like adding like annotations or whatever, or like captions. And yeah, so that's basically it. Like, those are fun. I do better with more form, you know, like when I get too free flowing on my videos, I think I tend to ramble. Well, I don't think I know, but
well, just you mean getting into it.
Yeah, well, you know, like it's weird because you're talking to yourself, and I tend to talk a lot, which might be evident from this last hour. But you know, when you're like, I did a Clan War recap last night, and you know, it's like 15 minutes long, and I'm just like, and then we did this, and let's go ahead and go here, guys, and now just stay with me, and now I don't know, you're just like you're moving around a lot, you know, rather than so there's two different types of recordings I do. One is where I record the attacks, and then I go ahead and merge them together, and I pick attacks that have one element that are similar, and then I package them together and I make it an episode. And the other type of video is a video where I just go into my base and I'm like, hey guys, Ash here, and I want to show you this, this, and this, and I just do the whole thing recording, without parceling it together. And those are more difficult, at least for me, because there's just not a format. Whereas if I have a format of 3 videos that all have to do with luring the clan castle, I can just stay on point the whole time. Now we're going to go to Blowblow's attack and watch how he lures the clan castle. And, it's easy, so yeah, I mean, those are my, I love war replays and pushing, more than farming videos, because farming and base videos, I get a lot of people asking for like speed builds, and there's so many channels out there for that kind of stuff, and there's a lot. To be fair, there's a lot of channels for strategy as well. But
you bring a lot of cool stuff with it, especially looking at some of those wars that you got. Seems like some great team members, and do you guys plan your stuff out? Like, do you? I think you were starting to say that with the chat before, or like Clash Caller,
yeah. We don't like. Most of our attackers know, basically what they're doing. There will be some people that some people will screenshot a base and then we'll give them tips on it. That will happen, maybe a handful of times per war, but it's not like we're meticulously going through every single base and saying this is exactly how you have to hit it or whatever. For the most part, people know, what they're doing. Obviously, it's not like we're we only have 89 wins, so it's not like we're an elite war clan, but people know. But we've been warring since the beginning too, so it's not like we're about 50% win rate throughout the whole history of Red Elite. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's not a ton of strategy talk, but we'll run things by each other in clan chat and stuff, and we'll call bases via Clash Caller, and our system is up until the 16-hour mark. So the first 8 hours of the war, each of our guys has that opportunity to attack their called base. So after 16 hours, it's a free for all.
Oh, okay. And then anybody can go anywhere.
Exactly. And during that first 8 hours, if like could due to time or whatnot, if you want to get your second attack in, you can attack a 1-star or a failed base,
Okay. Do you guys call your second one then? Or you call in the chat? Just whatever's there?
No, there's no calling at all. So basically, after the first phase is done, you have, like I said, you have the 8 hours to attack the base that you called. No one will hit it. And then after that's done, usually at that point we have, knock on wood, depending on the war, we have most bases already 2-starred, so at that point it's just going for 3 stars. Not all the time. Sometimes there's 5 or 6 open bases, but there's just not a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and okay.
So like, yeah,
and then
we'll
you
call
can be
it
a little bit more daring too, right? If you, because like if you've got failed attacks like on like a 10, or something, and there's things down below. If you guys are cleaning everything up all the way to the top, and and then it's the free for all, you really kind of go, well, I think this could work against this base better. And do you feel more like you can adapt a little bit more? Like,
well, one thing to keep in mind too, and this is one of these things on YouTube, is like I'll show an enemy number 32 attacking our number 1 and doing a really nice attack. It might be a 3-star, it might be a 70% 2-star, and without a doubt, every time I'll get comments saying, "I can't believe their 32 hit your number 1 like that." But what people forget is that they're all max bases. Their 32 could be number 1,
Yeah. Oh,
so, yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, I think everybody has the type of base that they're comfortable with, you know? So I think everybody calls those for their first attacks. And then if someone attacks another base that you're comfortable with, I think they would just go in, and they fail, you just go in immediately afterwards,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and that's the thing too.
How do you guys work it?
Well, it's we're actually calling both. We're internet. We got people like in the UK and and stuff like that. So we're kind of working with time zones now, and we just started using the Clash caller. But it used to be like the go within 5, and then it was the top 10, take the 20. But this just it kind of solved that problem because I forgot to put my phone on silent.
No worries.
So what we'll do is go in, and I think we've been kind of messing around with the number of hours, on the timer, but getting our lower guys to go. But people just go in, it's taken the organization out of the chat, and so then we can just strategize. And,
well, how do you do your second calls?
Our second calls, it's the same thing. It's just go call. And
so is there a time that you do that, like during the battle day?
It's after like 8 hours, I think.
Okay.
No, I think we put just a 4-hour timer on it.
Okay,
and then you have a good sense of who's going to attack. So like if I call it, I have 4 hours to do it.
Oh, okay.
And so you can see like there's this many on there, or it expired, and then I'd call it, brew my army. And most of the time I've got one already cooking that I'm.
So basically, before you're attacking anything, you're going on Clash Caller.
Yeah, and just
to make sure it's not called, or to call it for yourself.
Yep, and then it can flip back and forth on that home screen, just to the next thing, just see. And it's cool because it's like tracking like statistics and stuff like that. You can kind of see that stuff, but it just makes it more seamless. So I think our 9s and the 8s really started to look at what their strengths are more than worrying about the numbers, looking at bases and then trying to hit towards that. And that's same with the 10s, like, cause we go all over the place, with the 10s, especially within the top, like 6 or 7, if they like a 2, go for the 2. Cause we're all pretty much the same troop levels, except heroes vary a little bit, but yeah, so tough clans, but that's such a great organization tool. I didn't know if you guys use like Sketch or something like that. I know that.
I mean, yeah, we do, but not that, not that regularly, to be honest with you. Like we go through spurts, but for the most part, like we're just seeing there's so much repetition in these Max Town Hall 10 bases, especially lately. Like I said,
that ring
with our matchups. Lately, it's just like, they're all anti-3 setups, which are basically gimme 2s, so it's fairly easy. You really don't have to talk too much strategy, but if things come down to it, a close war or something, we'll talk strategy in chat and stuff like that, or online chat, but, for the most part, it's not like we're sketching out every attack or anything like that.
That'd be tough. And then I look at the plan. I would be horrible at sketching because I'd be going.
To some extent, there's a lot less strategy. I mean, I don't say that's probably the wrong way to say it, but there's when you're attempting a 3-star attack. I know like a lot of the elite Town Hall 9 clans or mixed clans, they use Sketch a lot in other third-party drawing apps on talking about 3-starring Town Hall 9s, and I think that there's a little bit more planning that goes into a 3-star attempt on a Town Hall 9, as a Town Hall 9 than there is on a 2-star attempt on a Town Hall 10. I mean, basically you can say, go in northwest, 3 golem spread, I don't know, like it's not too hard to just say it in chat,
But you guys mix it up a little bit. I mean, with the troops, like, I was going to ask about like the mass witch raid and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you guys like trying new attacks during these wars, or is it kind of like you see something that was working?
We'll try new attacks if the war is over. Like if the decision is already mathematically inevitable. But for the most part, I don't really. We will sometimes, or maybe if it's a really easy matchup, once in a blue moon, we'll try some not silly, but some 3-star long shot Hail Mary attacks, like the Mass Witch.
It's so cool.
Yeah, but the Mass Witch is awesome, and I got hit by a Mass Witch guy just in pushing, like a top 200 guy.
Yeah.
Attacked me with 10 witches and 4 golems the other day, and 2-starred me. So that
really?
Hurt. Yeah. So with
it's
2
fun
jumps.
To watch.
Yeah, 2 jumps. What else did he have? I don't know. 2 jumps, 2 rage, 1 freeze, and 10 witches, 4 golems. And I think that was his army. I think it may have had a few wizards in there, but
well, it's pretty cool then, because if you're pushing in that high, you're going to see different attacks too.
Yeah, but the funny thing is I went to that guy because I thought the attack was so interesting that I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try this myself, like pushing. And at my level, like I said, 3 attacks in a few hour period. You really got to be comfortable with what you're using. It's not really the time to play test, because if I lose a raid, I'll be set back. 30. If I lose 30 cups, that is the equivalent of 4 hours of searching. So it doesn't. If I'm lucky, So and when I lose on defense, that's 2 or 3 hours of searching. So the problem is that I'm not going to attack unless I'm so confident with an army. So I thought to myself, maybe I'll try this witch thing, because the guy who hit me, he looked like he knew what he was doing. It was a pretty definitive 2-star attack. And then I went and checked his cups, and he had dropped like 150 since he attacked me. So I was like, forget that. I don't know what the story was there, but for all I know, he could have failed the next 3. So I'm like,
no kidding.
Forget it. I'm not going to try.
Man, that's really tough. Are you? How long are you gonna push until you're?
Well, my clans
say.
Yeah, we're doing a whole alliance push. So I have all 3 of the clans. I'm taking the top 50 guys overall, sticking them all in my clan.
Nice.
Or I shouldn't say my clan like I own it, but all in our clan in red, and we're sticking them all together. So we have right now a combination of all 3 of our clans, our top 50 guys. We're trying to go for top 50 in the world clan internet, or just in the world, and we're currently like, I don't know, 95-ish right now, red elite.
Wow.
So and we have everybody's over 3,600 cups. And we have, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8 people over 4,000.
Wow. So what will
tough.
it take you to get
a lot?
Really?
Well, do you know how the cups work, like the weighted system, percentage wise?
Yeah, it's the
top 10.
Top 10 is 50%? No.
Yeah, exactly.
50%?
Yeah. Yep. So what will it take? It will take, there's many ways to get to the same result, but the easiest way would be to get, our top 10 higher, because they have such a heavy weight in their trophy calculation, So
yeah. What hurts worse? Pushing loss or a war loss?
Good question. They both hurt very similarly. It's the same pain both times, where you just want to quit the game and throw the device out the window,
Yeah. Yes, I've been experiencing lately, like if I have a really bad attack, and on my TH8, I had an attack. It wasn't bad. It just didn't go well. Just like timing was off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I find myself more and more, and I've mentioned this a couple times, but not wanting to return to the chat.
Like, Have you ever failed it? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just sitting there waiting the timer out as much as I can, even if I'm not going to get the 50, with my little cleanup troops.
Yeah. Well, the downside to that is that someone who might have not known you were attacking will see the sword logo and be like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" And then they'll wait for the result. What I do sometimes is if I fail, or if I get hit for a lot of cups, because basically at this point in my cups right now, I'm always a whale offer, So if I get a defensive win, it's like plus 5 to 10 cups, and if I get a defensive loss, it's for a 1-star, it's like minus 15. For a 2-star, it's like minus 30. So that absolutely kills. And if I get hit for a ton of cups on defense, or if I screw up a raid and I lose or something, what I usually do is I don't even fill Clan Castle. I don't do anything. I just put the device down and then I just like walk away. I don't talk in chat. I don't do anything. I don't cook up my next troops. I'm just gone.
I cannot see anything clearly at this point. I need to walk away.
It's so pathetic sometimes how amped you can get for like a silly attack for a game,
Oh yeah.
Like you'll be wiping your hands off.
That's what makes it fun. It's like you're stepping into an arena, and it's like, geez. I'm just gonna say I butt dialed it next time I fail. Whoops. No. Yeah. No. It's tough. It's fun to practice, and maybe I need to push again, but we were kind of doing that, and then because I've been in champs and stuff, but just with air but I'm farming that DE so hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far I could get up. I think I would
keep farming, man.
I was in 3,400 range. I mean, and it started to get really slow moving. So, like, the life in the clouds, that would be so tough.
Oh yeah. It's tough. It is definitely a different type of challenge than clan wearers or farming pushing. But I welcome the challenge, but I'm not going to be able to do it forever. It's way too time consuming.
Yeah. And where will you drop? Will you go back to?
Yeah, I never leave champion just because it's easy to farm being max and champion. So especially with the bonus. So I hang around like 3,400 or so. To farm.
And what do you use your farming for?
Blue Union. Oh, for blue walls. I have.
Okay. You're still working on the wall.
I still have 60 max walls to go till I'm max. So, or maybe 70. I don't know, somewhere in that range. So, So I just kind of take them one at a time. I've been pushing for what feels like so long, but it's only been, like I said, a couple of months. But I haven't really done any walls in a long time. But
How much are those?
Those are 4 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not
so.
I mean, I'm just doing my lavas. I was way behind on walls.
Yeah.
Because
the wall grind has never bothered me too much, but at the same time, it's never like everybody talks about walls, and it's definitely a grind. There's no doubt about it. But I've never thought of it as a grind. I've never been like, my goal is 5 walls today,
Yeah.
Instead, I just kind of do them when I have resources and I focus on the other stuff. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, man, we're running about an hour 10.
Yeah.
It was really great having. Do you have anything you want to mention? Any shout outs?
No, man. I mean, other than my amazing clans and my alliance and, all my, it's funny how tight you can get with people in the game. They become like real life friends, but
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So we've had like meetups and stuff, but, obviously it's too many to name, but all the amazing clanmates I have and everybody, all my supporters, I just hit 20,000 a week ago or whatnot on YouTube, 20,000 subscribers. And
congratulations.
Thanks, man. But there's been like so much support, and it's obvious. It's never been like a one of those things that I've had a quest to be the biggest YouTuber or anything like that. I've just kind of done it for fun and stuff.
But now I'm going to.
No,
YouTube pushing. No, just kidding.
Yeah, but sub for sub, anybody? Go ahead and but
hit 'em
it's
up.
it's fun. So all my support is there. It's really it's an awesome how some people watch like every day and comment every day. It's awesome and crazy and unexpected. And thank you to all those people.
Well, some really good stuff too. Like I said, like watching some of those attacks you were showing, it was really kind of cool. Just like I think the approach to the videos in it.
Thanks, Scotty. And I think your podcast is some really cool stuff. I have a job where I have nothing to do but listen to. I have stuff to do, but it does lend itself to multitasking, so I can listen to podcasts all day. So that's what I do all day, every day. So it's awesome to have some Clash content on there, and you're obviously one of my favorites. So I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, I do want to mention, like we wore together. Well, if you can call what Britney Spears did, war.
No, I can't say anything there either. So,
but where was I going? Oh, it was the 50-50 war.
Yeah.
Rigoletto Bye Forever podcast. You have the recaps, or some of the best ones from that. From that big event. So, up on the channel.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who were involved that might be around.
That was.
Check it out.
I recapped the big 50-50 event where we did 50 attacks in 50 seconds. At the beginning and the end of the war, it was like the second event. I'm sure your listeners probably have heard about it from when you were there, but
actually not yet. I haven't recorded it since. But
allow me to introduce the audience to 50 and 50.
Yeah, the 50 versus 50 attacks in 50 seconds. And it was in the Bye Forever clan from Rigoletto Bye Forever podcast. And that was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, it's more adrenaline pumping than you'd ever think it would be. Just attacking coordinated all at the same time. It's like, wow.
You go in and you just see that war map lit up.
Yeah, it's fun. Just
like making sure you get in within the 50 seconds.
It wasn't as crazy as the first event because we had so many Town Hall 10s and it was such a tougher war that the stars didn't roll up as fast as they did, because last time we had such a so many Town Hall 7s and 8s that it was 3-star. So I think we had like 100 stars in our first go round. So it's like But
could you imagine being in that other clan?
It's crazy. It would be so cool. Like I wish I was on the other side of some cool event like that. That could be like, oh my god, what are they doing?
Oh, very nice. Sorry. Yeah. My message just went off again. I got to figure this stuff out with my computer. It rings on every device. So
got to keep track of them.
Well, hey, thanks a lot for being here. It's really fun hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime.
Good luck with that push.
Thank you. I'll need it.
Yeah, totally. Well,
man. Well, thanks a lot.
Do you want to? What's your? It's Clash with Ash. On YouTube, and what's your
Clash
Twitter?
With Ash. Yeah, it's Clash with Ash on YouTube. It's Twitter is @Ash_with_Ash, and I have a new channel for Rival Kingdoms, and that's Ash's Kingdoms. So check them out.
Very awesome. Get a hold of me. I'm doing @Scotty827 now on Twitter. @WBSMT Radio, ClashClansPodcast.com. And you can find all the other ways to get a hold of us there. So keep it clashy, everybody. Keep it clashy, Ash.
You too, man.
Oh, and hey, Clashers, if you're interested in listening to another podcast, you should check out the new podcast, The Clash Files. You can find it on iTunes and on the website, theclashfiles.com. I made that mistake. That's why I'm saying that. Hosted by Natalia, who you've heard here on the podcast, and Coop, who's also been on the podcast, D.S. Halligan, and Rancid. So check those guys out. They're a great bunch of people. Find them on iTunes, Stitcher, any of those apps, and then on their website. So keep it clashy, everybody. Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.